All right, folks, we are back. Welcome on back this Tuesday, June 17th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Great to have all of us back inside our live trading room. Jim, Kathleen, Leda, Gillis, Roberto, Russell. Great to have all of us back inside our live trading room, like I just said. But I'm a hot mess, right? Just got back from the gym. I was lifting weights, running outside. Very fitting. I'm a hot mess because this whole market is a hot mess, right? I mean, obviously, the SPY pulling back here heading into the afternoon. A whole bunch of, stuff going on basically with Israel, Iran, Trump getting involved, a whole bunch of stuff, honestly, that's going on that we don't really know much about. We can only try and hear headlines and hear what this person has to say, hear what that person's blogging about. I try not to get too caught up in the headlines, try not to get too emotional about it. It's a very sensitive subject, first and foremost. But I bring it to you that way because we're here to make money. We're here to make educated decisions, at least with our money. We're not here to gamble. So we need to be as straightforward as we could be as far as the next 90 minutes goes. This is not a swing trading market. This would be a good day trading market at that. One of our students, Jim, just cleaned up a moment ago actually on one of the stocks that does pretty well anytime there's like geopolitical tensions, international tensions out there, Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Iran. USEG, US Energy Corp. This thing had a nice push yesterday. It had a good move just earlier beforehand. And Jim got out just before on a trade at 232. He was in from $1.80. So big shout out to one of our diamond students here, one of our longtime members, Jim. And hey, heading into the afternoon here, USEG. This thing still looks good. Good spread, good order book. All of that checks out as good as you can have it. And it's at the high of the day. So for right now, I have no problem putting the stock back on our watch list here. The USEG trade. Again, anytime there's like war going on, anytime there's geopolitical stuff going on out there, and things way above all of our heads. One thing I can tell you is that this stock does fairly well as a day trade. It normally dumps back down though. Like we've been familiar with this stock for years now, years on years. So this has not been a good swing trade. It's been a good day trade anytime there's been some sort of news. Now, that's not the only one, though. INDO is another stock that's very similar. These stocks tend to trade very, similar at the same time anytime these wars are going on. So you could see back in the beginning of 2022, big pop, big drop. I guess pretty much since that time, it's been making lower highs. It's trying to look to break out of that shell, though. I mean, if you're looking back from the end of last year, October, it peaked right around 588. It's not too far off there now. So I don't mind putting both of those trades at least on our watch list to begin. INDO, USEG. This one's all right, too. Oh, it just got halted. This one just got halted right now as we're talking. I was going to bring this up next, obviously. I just did. But HUSA, it's not as sharp compared to the others. The INDO, the USEG have been moving upward better throughout the day compared to HUSA. This made its run across the morning. Then it flattened out. Now we're getting this next pop. So I'll add this now at this point, HUSA. The USEG, the INDO are the more tradable of these three. And then if you're trying to like play casino, roll the dice, this would be for you. All right, so with that in mind, and I say it that way, guys, again, just because although it's easy to say these stocks have moved up anytime there's been some sort of geopolitical tension going on, Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Iran, whatever you want to say, these stocks move off of volume. So if there's not really much volume out there on the order book, pushing the stock up, pushing the stock down, it doesn't make it easier. It makes it riskier. It makes it like, oh, like I don't really know what's going to happen next. I'm not in that business. So HUSA will be the most volatile of those three. But hey, this is holding right near the highs. It's got a good order book. And again, same with the other one, the INDO. Looks like you got some resistance here next, though, right around 235 to 240. All right, let's rip it. Go right from top to bottom here. See what we can grab. I mean, the HUSA, high flyer, CERO, zero. I think that's zero in Spanish, if I'm not mistaken. Nice little squeeze up, at least from the morning part. Lower highs. It's flat. We're done with this trade for now. We are not done with this trade, though. It's pushing back up in front of us. That's why I'm saying that here. Just before I would have said, though, otherwise the lower highs, it wasn't looking just as good up until the last couple minutes. So Reborn, RBNE, don't mind this big gap down, but more than anything, I think that we did really well on the stock back from the end of last week. There you go. I got to get my pre-market in there. So pre-market, it was the end of last week. This thing flew, went from basically 5 up to 20, 4x in a matter of a few hours across the day. What goes up comes back down, though. That's why I say this is a day trade. Came back down going into the close, got crushed going into yesterday, and I guess it's back up today. Why is it back up? Well, got the time. I'll figure this out right now. See if there's news out on this company here. Reborn. I'll even bring up my Benzinga Pro and show you that. So what do we got here, folks? Robin Energy registered direct offering reported earlier was announced for the 16th. That's as of 11:44 in the morning. 5.1 milli direct offering. Well, that's normally something that would spike the stock down a lot. So it's weird that this is kind of going up either way. Let me just take a look to see what's out there on the order book. Now, with the market falling off, we'll jump to this next, at least here, UVXY. Market falling off, those stocks that we just mentioned, they'll move up here and there. But UVXY is an ETF that goes like inverse to the stock market. So we'll get to that next. Reborn. Looks like there was a ladder on the ask. I mean, actually started off here, 1450-ish, went down to 1350-ish. And then look at this. You can kind of see them tracking down over time, right? Little here, little there, little this and that. But over time, it looks like they squeezed them out, or maybe they just stopped showing the order and this thing just launched after. I'm not 100% convinced this is going to break new highs. If it does it right now, great. It looks like it wants to. Just be mindful, though, if it fails to do this. Look to see if it could at least hold over 1280-ish, if not 13, 1280-ish here, 13. And we'll come back to it by the end of this meeting. But yeah, we got Reborn. We'll add this here to our watch list. And then, needless to be said, the UVXY with the market falling off. This goes completely inverse to what the S&P is doing, the Qs, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, whatever you want to use. This is the volatility index, the fear index. So just to mention, is this a good swing trade? It's not. This is an ETF, first off. So this is not like some company. The company that issues the ETF, they had to do reverse splits over the course of time just to keep this listed. So the market going up and up and up and up for years now, obviously for decades, for forever, basically, UVXY has not been a good swing trade. Not been a good swing trade. If you want to try and ride the wave overnight for one night, do it at your discretion. But I would say more than anything, this is a good day trade. Nice little breakout of resistance just before heading into the early afternoon, 21.75. It's up a buck nearly since there. So good move on this UVXY trade. All right, let's keep going. This is still pushing up. HUSA, we got that there. It's a buyout. Move on from this. Galt. It's like Salt's cousin. Galectin Therapeutics. It's pushing up a little bit here heading into the afternoon. It's a little bit closer to the highs, from earlier. I'll come back to this if we need to. This we did pretty good on, EYEN. It also made a good move yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, a little decent move yesterday. I guess this thing up and down through the spin cycle this thing's been through. And, listen, if it wants to keep trying to push up, there could be more room up here because looks like this broken support would be good resistance around 620-ish. It's just flat, though. It's really flat here across the afternoon. So I don't like that part. I'll move on from it for right now. I don't mind coming back to it if we need to. INEO, and another stock crawling up a little bit here. Decent order book. Again, I'll come back to it if I need to. Second round. I want something that's like going to make me stop in my tracks, make me say, that's the one. RELI, pushing up a little bit here recently. You can't trust these stocks as far as you could throw them. So I'll do last call. I'll go down this gainers list again one more time before we finish. At least for right now, since apps hasn't truly broken a lower low yet, I'd be remiss if I didn't add this at least to our list for right now, the APPS. We crushed it on this trade. Just to go over, actually, I like showing this because if you're on social media, you don't really have the full brunt of our live trading room. We certainly invite you to join us here over time. This week, next week, you name it. We're not going anywhere. We're going to be around for a little bit. But APPS, 8:30 in the morning. That was my first call out on this trade here. It should be a good trade if and when this could break above 535 as resistance. I was looking at Oscar. I was looking at the nuclear stock, SMR, also for the market open. But point being, right? Going into the open here, apps broke over that 535. And quite frankly, I wasn't really expecting what we ended up getting. So I left some money on the table, but that's the least of our worries when we have a pristine entry. Right off pre-market resistance, but it was breaking above it going into the open. It held it right here as support afterwards and pretty much launched. Again, reversal time around 10:30. So for as much as this goes up in the first hour, hey, it's a nice run. But this kept going, kept pushing up, kept holding higher lows. It still is technically here. So I don't mind putting this on our watch list. It'll probably be towards the bottom. I like the other energy stock trades at least first for right now, but we'll keep it on our list. See what we got here, folks. Keep going down. Go in order. MXC, WTF. I'm not trying to curse. USEG on our list already. That's looking great. Oh, you know what I got to do? I didn't do this. Ooh, really low. All right, let's jack this volume filter up here. Finish up this gainer side. I knew I was going through it a little slow, like something was up. See, I got to jack up the volume a bit. OP, this actually just broke a new high a moment ago here, but back down. So a little lackluster on the breakout there. Again, we'll come back to it if we need to. With the whole market dropping, there's not going to be many stocks going completely against the grain. So again, if it just smacks us upside the face, it's like, okay, that looks good. Um, any of these others, I'll look at. I'll go through it, but I wanted a better move on Oscar earlier in the morning. Just didn't really get the higher high. ETU, Peabody, good little move earlier here. This is an ETF. This might be up, this is at the highs. It's not the biggest, best mover, but this is an inverse ETF biotech. I'm not going to put it on our main list today, but you could see it on our list tomorrow. You could definitely see this on our list going into tomorrow. Let me do this. All right. What do we got here from the loser side? All these other energy companies, not the INDO, HUSA, the solar stocks, we'll just say Sunrun, SEDG, ENPH, just demolished, getting crushed off that, stripping of the solar incentive, the solar tax credit. By 2028, I think that they're doing away with it. But all these trades getting crushed immediately. They'll likely continue to drop off over time. Not going to put them on our main list for this next 80 minutes, 90 minutes to go. Not really showing us good movement at this point, but keep them in mind going into tomorrow, Friday, next week, next month, etc. Red Cat getting beat up. That's near the lows, a little flat. If it was even dropping a little bit closer to the low of the day now, I'd be more inclined to put it on our list. What happened here? This thing got destroyed. Speaking of, there has to be news out for our cat. We've done pretty well on this stock recently. One of the drone, aircraft type of stocks here. Oh, that can make sense. Here we go. Yeah, 46.7 million registered direct offering on 6.5 million shares, pretty much. All right. Well, that makes sense. That's the type of offering that would spike the stock down a lot. So yeah, we're not going to trade this. UAVS plug. Anything else here? I sip my warm water bottle. It's like 120 degrees out here in Florida. Put a water bottle outside in your car for like 30 seconds. It's going to heat up pretty quick. All right, folks. Last call. Anything else looking good across the gainer side here, just as we wrap up? Michael, Mark, Kathleen, Chuck, Lawrence, Lynn, and Randy. Anything else looking good? Marks? Nah. Very low volume. You don't want to trade something like it's like only if we need to, something that low, but nah, we're not going to trade this. I'll go through round two though on the gainer side. Just anything else that we didn't really look at, or anything I said I'd come back to. I don't mind just doing last call like Galt, GALT. Good order book, good spread here. You got nice iceberg here, right, guys? See that as resistance, so that's easy to see. I don't mind putting this on our list for right now. There could be better shorts to work with going down with the market, but let's see. Let's find out. UAL, yeah, I forgot about that. UAL took a huge hit just going into the afternoon from yesterday too, or maybe 2 days ago. That could have been big drop off that was from the other day, but pulling right back down again right now. So UAL, you got maybe a Coinbase going down with Bitcoin. IBIT's down over 4% right now. Hey, obviously, depending on what's going on out there with Israel, Iran, and I mean, regardless of like Trump's involvement, just if things really escalate, regardless, not only will the whole market crash, but I could see an environment where Bitcoin drops down to 91,000. I'm not saying it's going to. This isn't me like putting this out there as if I think it's definitely going to happen. This is me telling you if the shit hits the fan, the whole market's going to collapse. But look at where Bitcoin was yesterday, 108,000. Look at where it's at today, 104. I can see a faster drop down to 91 over time, but obviously day by day. We'll just see what happens day by day there. All right, I'll tell you what. I think that's pretty much it, folks. We added that Galt trade, if anything. Maybe look at maybe a couple more shorts, hymns, hood. Eh, Nike got hit here. This was dropping off pretty nicely just before. It's not down more than 5%, but pretty clean downtrend here. It's approaching good support. 59.50-ish, 59.49. And maybe something to keep, on the lookout going forward. I'm not going to put this on our list though for right now. Kevin, good afternoon to you. We actually got two of us over in Lakeland, Florida. We got my guy Russell, one of our new gold students, and you, Kevin, on YouTube from Lakeland, Florida. Good afternoon to you. I'm over in, as you know now, St. Pete Largo area. Leda, as always, great to have you simulcasting with us on YouTube and as well as inside our live trading room. But aside from that, folks, I think that's pretty much it. Nothing else that really stood out. Name brands are down. Tesla's down. Find a good short on that. Maybe if it breaks slower. NVIDIA is like a little choppy. I'm not really going to focus on this much at all now at this point. Maybe tomorrow. But Tesla possibly is a short. Palantir, if you do well on this day-to-day, long, short, you name it. Hey, it's trending down. This could be a good short going into the close. So you got plenty of other name brands that we'll focus on maybe. But for right now, I like what we got here for this watch list here, folks. So for Steve, for Lynn and Randy, for Michael, Phil, Kathleen, all of us just here. There we go. USEG, INDO, and the rest. I would strongly advise to start and stick with these at least to begin. Gives you the best chance to find an early runner, find a nice trade that you can make money off of yourself. And then again, we'll be back on in just about 12, 15 minutes, just shortly after 3 o'clock. I'll be back on here taking you into the close. If you're on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, the works, right down below. I'm a hot mess here today, so that'll be a little bit better blocking my shirt. But at Cyber Trading U, right down below, hit that annoying red, obnoxious subscribe button. Be a friend, tell a friend. Look to follow us each and every day, Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then otherwise, we're just here inside our live trading room. So we look forward to having you there inside our room in due time. But we'll be back on the mic coming up, folks, in just a little bit for Lynn and Randy, Alan, Lita, and all of us just here. Talk to you soon.